I'm here at Katarapko for an overnight fishing trip. No Doug, he's in Tasmania looking for Tasmanian tigers. Good luck with that, Doug. Anyway, first thing to do is to get some shade set up. It's going to be 35 today and 38 tomorrow. I doubt I'll be here more than a few hours in the morning. River's looking good. Let's get some shade up and let's get fishing. Okay, basic shade set up. I've got somewhere to retreat if it gets too hot. And I've set up a brolly on the bank, so I've got some shade while I fish, because there's nothing within 30 metres of here, and I don't like being under big gum trees anyway, for obvious reasons. All ready to go. I'm going to fish a light paternoster with 2 size 8 hooks and a feeder over this side with worms on all 3 hooks to start with. If it's a bit slow, I can switch to corn or bread. I promise you I'm not going to show every single fish that I catch. The first couple that come up are going to go in the shrimp nets, and after that I'll just do a progress update. Okay, let's go. Alright, paternoster first. I'll go about halfway out. Oh, maybe not even that far. There's not much current. Flow rate's quite low at the moment, so not particularly worried about drifting downstream. And the feeder with a worm again. I might go a little bit closer with this one. There we go. Right, let the catching begin. Just had my first bite. Right, if this one stays on, it'll be the first fish, and I think it's going to be a good size for the shrimp net. Yep, and yep. While I was trying to deal with that one, the feeder's gone off. A little bit bigger than the other one that's swimming around down here. Oh well, it's a good start. There's not much in the way of features for these shrimp nets, but I don't think that should matter too much. There's a bit of a drop off here. So, baited with the first carp I caught. Yeah, plenty deep enough. And the second one, I've got one in the other side of my umbrella, and I'll put this one in on this side. See how we go. A few shrimps would be good. I'd like to tackle a few Carp later on. Yep, that'll do fine. You missed the bite alarm, but it was spectacular. I don't think it's that big a fish. Not huge, about 1 kilo maybe. That was a hit and run. A solid bite. And that's another average carp. Gee, they're skinny. That's the one off the feeder. That's definitely smallest fish of the day. I've been here about an hour, I've had about 10 or 11 and nothing of any size as yet. This seems to be about the size today. I'm getting plenty of bites on worms, but I'm just going to switch to corn for something a bit different and see if I can't turn up something a bit bigger. Bit of a tug on the feeder. Ooh, yes. Good bite, but I don't think there's much size. Shrimp nets have been in for an hour now. I might have a look at them, see if we got any shrimp. Yep. Good bite, but small. Let's see if we've got anything. Certainly sounds like it. Oh yeah. There's a heap. This storage pot is a really good idea. It keeps the shrimps healthy and cool. If you put them in a bucket, you'd be lucky if they last half an hour. So I'll try one on the feeder line. There's quite a few in there. You look like a volunteer. And hopefully it might get me a bigger fish. Or even a native, wouldn't that be nice? There we go. So, lid back on this. And then just drop it in a little bit of depth, 2 or 3 feet, as long as it doesn't fall over, which it's not going to do. And that'll keep them nice and healthy until they're needed. So this pot is Neptune tackle, burley pot and live bait keeper, C&J Coates Proprietary Limited. I've had it for donkey's years, but it's very good for keeping shrimps alive. I haven't bothered checking the other shrimp net because I'll wager it's the same, and that's the only problem with having all these lines near where you're fishing. I'll wager it's the same, so it might as well keep on catching. Okay, get me a big fish. Well, that lasted exactly 15 seconds, and I would suggest this is a much better fish. So local bait. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is solid. Got no idea what it is, but I wager it's a big carp. Yep. Well, very big. Close to a double. Well, if every one of those shrimps gets me a fish like this, I'll be a happy boy. Bit hard to estimate size, but I reckon at least 4 kilos. Hook looks solid. FOD, Doug. I wonder if you're done. No, I thought not. If I lose it now, I'll be pissed. He's in. Definitely FOD. 5 kilos, just over. 69 centimetres. A nice big fatty. Right, do we have another volunteer? We won't tell you what happened to your buddy. There's a nice one. That'll do. Lid on. Back in the cool. Interestingly, the corn hasn't had a touch that I'm aware of anyway. Oh, the shrimp's gone off again. I was holding the rod so it didn't trigger the bite alarm. Not sure what we've got. I'd say another carp. Not as big as the last one, but still reasonably solid, I would think. I did have a couple of bites on the corn, but they didn't do anything very sensational. So seeing as I've got plenty of shrimps, I might go double shrimps on the paternoster. Right, let's try this. Well, that lasted 16 seconds. Shrimps are working. Well, another one on shrimp. this time on the paternoster. Feisty, but small. Oh, he's pulled the hook. Right, it's after 12. It's hot. There's not a lot of breeze, although what there is welcome. I think it's time for lunch and a beer. Cheers. This is just for you, Doug. Lunch of champions. Smoked oysters, a little bit of lemon juice, some crackers. What more could you want? Lunch is over. Back into it. Only red fins. Well, that's about 20. And the feeder's gone again. And it's another solid fish. Yep. If they were all that size, I'd be more than happy. Feeder's about to go. Yep. Saw the tip starting to go round before the bite alarm went off. A much smaller fish than I was expecting. Much smaller. Nearly pulled the rod into the water. Took a while, but he came back. Time to top up the shrimps. I just checked the same pot down there that I checked before. There was some in it. I haven't pulled the other pot out at all yet. I've certainly used a few. That's better. It'll keep me going for a while. It ain't getting any bigger. Another big bite on the feeder. And look what nearly pulled it in. Again. When they hit those shrimps, they hit them. Here's a very dark one. Not black, but certainly dark. This is just about to go off. It's really slowed down the last hour or so. It's stinking hot, and I think the fish all decided to go to the air conditioning. Another tiddler on my hard-earned shrimps. Well, something just grabbed this and went. I think I've got a decent fish. There was no hesitation, it just grabbed it, and fortunately I was right next to the rod. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. Maybe not quite as big as the one I had before. Be interested to see what bait it took. I had worms and shrimp on here. Shrimp on the bottom and worms on the top. And I'd say it's taken the worms, and it's actually not as big as the fish I hooked before. It's good. It's not 5 kilos. Covered in sores. Okay, in you go. Good 4.4 kilos, 65 centimetres. Not bad. I switched the feeder over to corn and I've got one. This will be the first fish, assuming I land it, that I've had on corn today. But a goer. Second one on corn. Well, that would be one of the top 5 today, I reckon, discounting the 2 really good ones. Okay, break from fishing. It's 4:30, just after 4:30. Camp's now in the shade, which is wonderful. I've come up from the umbrella, which has done a great job today, I've got to say. I've set up my bed. I've got my stove out, food items that I'm going to need tonight, and in a little while I'll cook tea and then go back for an evening session. So in summary, fishing hasn't exactly been red hot today. I probably caught close to 40, most of them small, a few 2 kilo, 2 and a bit kilo, and 2 large ones. So it's sort of what you'd expect here, a mixed bag, lots of small fish, the occasional big one. So I haven't even pulled out that second shrimp net which is down there. I might do that this evening, top up my shrimp supply, put a fresh carp in there, and hopefully have a nice supply of shrimps for an assault in the morning. Anyway, tea's on the agenda now, and then an evening session. What I haven't seen today is birds. A couple of parrots when I first got here, a few crows which are always in residence, and that's about it. No pelicans, no herons, no egrets, nothing. I can only assume it's too hot for them. Maybe we'll see some a bit later on, but very unusual. Nice little reheat stir fry for tea tonight. Tea's done, 5:30. I've just topped up the shrimps from the net that I didn't check earlier, the one down there. I haven't looked at that one, I might just leave it in overnight. So it's going to be shrimps all round, and see if I can't get either a big carp, or better still, a carp. Now I had one yabby in the shrimp net, so I cut the tail into 2 and put the yabby tail on, and that's a renowned big carp bait. So let's see what we turn up here. It's fairly solid, not that big, 1.5 kilos maybe. Certainly took off like a bigger fish. Never mind. Maybe 2. Not too shabby. This was the outcome of the second half of the yabby tail. Oi! So 2 solid fish, but seriously, I want something a bit better than that. This fish is actually a hybrid. No whiskers, definite line, lateral line, and the dorsal fin set further back with no spike. And that's probably one of the bigger hybrids I've ever caught. No whiskers. Where are your whiskers? There we go. I just saw a hardback reptile stick his nose out of the water. Oh no. Oh no, the feeder's going on off and I've got a fish on the other line. Well, that's about number 40, I reckon. And that's another hybrid. See the lateral line? Setback fin and no whiskers. 2 hybrids in one session. Interesting. Anothery. One thing I've noticed about all these carp today, they're very skinny. Very skinny. Well, I reckon that might be a contender for SFOD, smallest fish of the day. Just heard this noise behind me. Look what I see. Bloody great goanna. Scared the crap out of me. I did hear a noise before and I wondered what it was. Now I think I know. He's not worried about me, that's for sure. Well, I think that's going to be it for the day. That's about number 50, I would say. And I'm pretty well all fished out. No natives, very disappointing. I used pretty well shrimps exclusively this evening. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Never mind, we'll have a session in the morning and then head for home because 39 up here tomorrow. Bit warm.
Early the next morning.
Good morning. Sun's well and truly up. I've done a little bit of pre-packing of the campsite and I'm going to fish for a couple of hours before it gets too hot. So shrimps again last night. That's what we're going to use for bait. Let's go. Shrimps were all good and lively this morning in the storage pot. Looks like the tide's come in overnight. I reckon the water's gone up a couple of inches because my feet are well and truly wet. Not that it matters in this weather. Okay, let's see if we can't get a decent fish before we have to go. There's a bite in the feeder. First victim for the morning. Now that is a black carp. Wow. Double shrimps he ate. I think they come much blacker than that. Yeah, it seems to have been about the average the whole time I've been here. Savage bite. Absolutely ripped the rod. It's starting to get really hot now, so this is my last couple of casts. I'll let the shrimps go in a second so that I don't get tempted. Not only is it hot, but the bites have slowed right down, so I think I'll call it a day. 60 odd fish, give or take, 2 hybrids, 2 big fish, 4 and 5 and a bit kilos. It's been fun. I'll be back again soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and I'll see you in the next one, maybe with Doug.